Welcome back to the
guys.
podcast. Welcome back.
Episode 3.
Episode 3's.
All right.
So we're going to start off on a heavy note. On the 24th, Saturday, Alex Preddy was unfortunately killed in a ICE raid in Minneapolis. Preddy was a 37-year-old nurse at the Minneapolis Veterans Affairs Hospital.
And I think in response to this, the government is changing the head of the border control from Gregory Bovino to Tom Homan to kind of as a response to this, even though I don't know if it'll do very much.
Do you know what exactly a border star is? That's what
I think that's what Tom Homan is quoted. He said he is a border czar. So I guess
Interesting.
that means he's
that's
Okay, so
Interesting.
next on our list, I'm going to be talking about Senor Fish. So on January 23rd, 2026, ICE agents were present at the restaurant, leading to the manager closing the restaurant to protect the workers and customers inside.
wow.
And that's really near Arroyo Vista,
I know,
too.
that's very close to Arroyo Vista. I think some of the schools might have even went on lockdown
Oh,
Really?
wow.
because of it. Yes, but nobody was detained.
That's good. That's
I'm
good.
pretty sure. And the restaurant has returned to its regular schedule from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Okay.
Nice. Also, on the 26th, the USS Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group entered the Middle East region. They serve as they were sent out to enter the Middle East to expand the U.S. presence in U.S. Central Command, which is the people in charge of tension with Iran.
So are they trying to start a war with Iran? What's happening here?
Trump
That'd be
claims
crazy.
that he doesn't want to use it, or he doesn't know if he doesn't have to use it, but
Yeah.
it's a very likely possibility and not fun.
Yeah.
Anyways, so let's start diving in deeper to some of these
All right, sounds
topics. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
But what do you guys want to start on?
All right. Well, I have a new thing to talk about, actually. So I'm going to be talking about the Artemis missions. So,
Oh, is that the
yeah.
spaceship?
They're
Yeah,
going
that's
to
like
the
a rocket.
other side of the moon, right?
so what they're doing on what was targeted for January 31st, it's very likely that it might not happen on January 31st because of weather or something like that.
Okay.
They're going to
Okay.
do what's called a wet dress rehearsal, where that is like a final fueling and countdown practice with the rocket at the pad. And like I said, it's targeted for the 31st.
Okay.
So that's coming up soon.
And the mission of it is to get to the dark side of the moon. Is that correct?
I'm
Or,
not sure
what's the
if it's
plan?
the dark side of the moon, but they're trying to just return astronauts to the moon.
Okay.
So coming up on roughly February 5th through 11th, it's targeted for the 6th, but once again,
Yeah.
weather can
Uh-huh.
be a factor.
Yeah.
They will be
Okay.
doing the Artemis 2 launch. So
Okay.
if technical or weather issues occur, backup windows are going to be available through April 2026.
So it would still happen
Yeah.
pretty soon,
It would
even
still
if there's
happen, yeah.
weather issues.
So they're trying, because after the original moon landing, we haven't really sent people back to the moon. So now
Yeah.
they're gonna do that. And are they just gonna get more samples from the moon, or
Well, they're trying to explore, maybe possibly building a moon base or a long-term,
wow.
long-term
so
moon
an
station.
ISS on the moon?
Yeah, and also, do you know where the launch is taking place from?
The launch is going to be taking place on Pad 39B in Cape Canaveral, Florida. So it will be 4 astronauts.
Okay.
They will fly around the moon, so they won't
Wow.
be landing on the moon.
Okay.
Landing on the moon will
Be in a couple
later
years.
mission.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a 10-day journey.
Okay.
And the reason that I brought this up during politics is because of how the rocket was built. Over 1,100 companies across all 50 U.S. states
Wow.
helped
Wow,
build
geez.
this rocket. So industrial giants such as Boeing, Northrop Grumman, Aerojet Rocketdyne, and ULA all helped build the rocket. So more talking about international relations and like international supporting partners. The European Space Agency and Airbus, which is also based in Europe, they focused on building the Orion spacecraft, which will carry the astronauts on their journey.
Okay. So how long do you think they're going to stay up there going around the moon?
I think it said about 10 days.
Okay.
So the SLS was actually mandated by the U.S. Congress in the NASA Authorization Act of 2010. And its creation was like the people that kind of spearheaded, I should say, the creation include Senators Bill Nelson, who's now actually the NASA administrator, and Kay Bailey Hutchison. Might not be pronouncing that right. But anyways, this is an exciting launch because of the astronauts that will be on board the spacecraft. So they are very diverse compared to the Apollo 11 launch. So as you could see through videos and photos, all of the astronauts were very much white, and they were all males.
Yeah.
However, on this launch, there will be the first non-American to fly to the moon, Jeremy Hansen, who's the mission specialist, and the first woman assigned to a lunar mission, and the record holder for the longest single space flight by a woman, which will be Christina Koch, who's also a mission specialist. And then Victor Glover, who's the first African-American assigned to a lunar mission.
And I think just heading back to the change in the border control head. So it's President Trump is actually the one who wanted to change it to Tom Homan, because he's trying to supposedly stabilize the situation after clashes between federal agents and local residents. And he's going to report directly to the White House and will be joined by Rodney Scott, the Commissioner of U.S. Customs and Border Protection, which is abbreviated by CBP.
So pretty much Trump doesn't like how the turns in Minnesota have been going. And he's decided to send in his guy, Tom Homan, to be the border czar and take control of the situation.
I mean, I think so. I mean, because honestly, it's getting pretty close to a kind of a civil war, like how it was in the original 13 colonies, how they protested all the taxes, like in the Minnesota area.
Then if we're going to double back on topics we've already talked about, I would like to speak a little bit more on the U.S. Naval strike group in the Middle East. Pretty much the U.S. has had some growing tension with Iran in the last couple days and months recently. So Iran's been having multiple protests, and they're in response to those protests, Iran is often killing and shooting the protesters.
Yeah, do you know has any country tried to intervene with Iran?
I don't exactly know. The U.S. doesn't like it, and they've been talking about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But Trump was the Armada being sent into the region was an action by Trump in response to the Iran's crackdown on the anti-government protests.
Wow, yeah.
And then the U.S. officials stated that the mission is to promote regional security and stability. So I don't exactly know what the purpose of this is, but Trump claims it's
that covers it kind of.
Yeah, he claims that it's a warning, and he would hope for. He says that he would hope for a diplomatic resolution.
Yeah, I mean, and also moving on to more kind of not as politicky, but I think I've heard a little bit about a winter storm, which is it's been affected over 200 million people. Yeah,
down in the south where it doesn't usually snow.
Yeah. Just it's not really affecting the West or like specifically the West Coast.
Yeah.
But it's heavily impacting the East and people in the Middle East. So it's unofficially named Winter Storm Fern, and it recently swept across roughly 2/3 of the United States.
Wow.
Jeez.
It's just
Yeah.
crazy.
My great grandma said that she got 2 feet of snow, which is like it's been that first like times in like 20 years that has happened.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very
She lives-
crazy.
No, the thing is that it's not as big of a problem for the northern states because they have infrastructures that expect the winter snow.
Oh,
Yeah,
And that, but down in the south, like in Texas,
They're not expecting that.
They don't
Yeah.
have that kind of supply.
Yeah,
They're not
that
prepared for that, and like pipes will crack and leak, and
That's
roads will
really
freeze
bad,
over,
yeah.
and they
Yeah.
are less prepared to deal with it.
And that's caused over 50 deaths in like,
Wow.
Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, Ohio, Kansas, those kind of areas where they're, like you said, they aren't ready for the snow.
Wow.
There are also obviously power outages because of
Yep.
the snow,
Yeah.
travel disruptions. So not just cars not being able to drive, but more than 11,000 flights were canceled on Sunday alone.
Oh,
The
jeez.
total cancellations exceeding 17,000 as major hubs were paralyzed by snow and ice.
Yeah.
So this is a record snowfall with very significant accumulations, like Lucian said, of 1 to 2 feet were recorded in Texas.
Wow.
Texas to Maine.
Wow.
So that's a huge area, Texas to Maine.
Yeah.
And New York City also saw its heaviest snowfall in 5 years with 11.4 inches.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
Toronto, Canada also set a record.
No, about all the transportation, like not just cars and even planes are affected. And that can be noted in the plane crash in Bangor, Maine. So on, I think it's the 25th.
I mean, they might not be directly related, but
yeah, they might have
still on
something
that
to do.
same-
On the 25th, a private jet taking off from Bangor, Maine, crashed during the takeoff, and
oh my God.
yeah, all 6 people aboard were unfortunately killed.
Jeez.
Yeah. The thing is that the kind of plane, which is a Bombardier Challenger 600, has a history of sensitivity to ice, like wing icing.
Yeah, I wonder why
So,
they
like,
decided to fly.
Maybe it could have something to do with all the snow and ice that's in the
Definitely.
area.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, the
Also-
FAA is still like investigating the cause of the crash. That's a comment. That's like one of their lead guesses.
Yeah,
Now
so-
focusing.
Hold on. Let me say one more thing relating to that. So, at the time of the crash, the Bangor International Airport was open with de-icing operations underway.
Okay.
So, they were trying to get the ice off of the runway, and both commercial and private planes were still landing and departing
Oh,
while
wow.
they were de-icing. So,
Yeah.
there's a very good chance that those two are related, and I feel like that runway should have been shut down completely, but
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Now focusing on the totally other side, the West Coast, there's a social media addiction trial that's happening in California, which is like against Meta and TikTok and seeing if they have tried to design
Yeah, design.
to see if they've tried to design their platforms to addict people to them.
Yeah,
Wow.
well, I feel like they do.
Yeah, of
because
course.
you know,
Yeah,
like-
I mean definitely.
no doubt, because
But-
the infinite scroll, you know,
Yep,
you can
yep.
just
Yeah.
keep going forever and ever.
Yeah. So like,
Yikes.
so is it like that? California is suing social media, or is it like a private trial? You're checking. Okay.
I don't know exactly.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
they're-
let's look into that real quick.
Okay. So what you're saying is that they want to know if the social media companies are trying to like make it so kids get addicted so they can like make more money, but the people who are suing them
Yeah.
don't like it and are trying to
Well-
trying to get them to stop doing that.
That makes sense.
So it's actually a 19-year-old California woman who says that using these platforms since their childhood caused severe addiction, leading to depression and suicidal thoughts.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
So that's against the
Meta.
TikTok and actually TikTok and Snapchat reached an agreement to settle. And Meta and YouTube are still facing their trial.
Interesting.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Do you have anything else, or can I move on to my
Yeah. Move on.
other segment?
Yeah.
So, I'm going to be talking about a little climate action. So, there are 3 pillars of climate action. There are mitigation, adaptation, and then the financing for it. So, mitigation is just trying to mitigate emissions and cut emissions by switching from fossil fuels to
like
renewable
electricity.
energy.
Yep.
Exactly, like solar and wind.
Yeah.
Which improves the energy efficiency and protects forests. And then for adaptation, adjusting to current and future climate impacts to protect people and ecosystems. So that could be building flood defenses, implementing early warning systems. For
Yeah, I mean
disasters.
that's an example like of the snow, because that probably is somewhat extremified by global warming.
And
Yeah.
then once again, I would like to tie it back to politics. So the United Nations climate action is currently enshrined as Sustainable Development Goal 13, calling for urgent action to combat climate change and its impacts.
Yeah.
And then for the European Union, the EU aims to be the first climate neutral continent by 2050.
Wow.
Wow. That's a
So
long-term goal.
they're-
Like,
They
Nothing happening
have
fast.
currently a plan to cut emissions by at least 55% by
Wow.
wow. That's
Also, talking more about the United States government, there's a very big government shutdown threat, because a lot of people don't want to cut the funding for the Department of Homeland Security, and a lot of people want to raise it up. And so it's a big kind of fight in the Congress.
okay. Yeah.